Welcome to the Gallant Few, the Rangers podcast, who are proudly sponsored by the Insurance Practice. The team at the Insurance Practice specialise in family protection and life insurance, and who better to look after you and your loved ones than fellow Rangers fans. Check out the website at www.theinsurancepractice.co.uk or contact the Gallant Few for more information. Hello and welcome to the Gallant Few Rangers podcast. My name's Colin McDuff and I'll be your host for today as we look back over a very positive week for Rangers. Joining me this week we have a full house. We've got Scott Hodge, Craig McAdam, Ian McCready and Scott Carney. For the listeners, we are recording on Sunday night, so Scott Carney, I think you can maybe best sum up how we're all feeling.
Happy Sunday, gentlemen.
So, disclaimer: as much as we try and be very biased and very unbiased and look at it at a balanced view, I think we all might be on a fucking high horse this week. So, apologies in advance to the listeners. A lot to get through, so we'll kick off. Rangers today had a 4-0 victory over Falkirk in the Betfred Cup. We lined up with McLaughlin, Tavernier, Goulson, Bassey, Barisic, Arfield, Zungu, Hagi, Barker, Itten and Defoe. So one notable absence who I think a lot of us thought would have been in the starting lineup, Philippe Hilander. He's tested positive for COVID-19, so best wishes to him, and the main thing is having everyone around him to keep him safe. Craig, I think we would have expected quite a lot of changes and he's made 7 in the end. Have you any surprises when you've seen the lineup?
Nah, I reckon that's what we're expecting. We know Tav and Goulson play every game just about, so other than maybe them getting a rest, but with Patterson being out, I think Tav was the only really option for us at right back. I think Patterson would have got a bit of game time if he wasn't having to isolate. But other than that, it's pretty much what we expected. Good to see people that haven't been playing get some minutes, and good to see us use the subs as well and get some of the young boys on, which is always nice to see.
Scott Hodge, sorry, I'm not giving you any trouble. Just don't want to get the wrong Scott to answer. It doesn't feel like a depleted squad. We've made 7 changes, and it still pretty much looks like a first team out, doesn't it?
Aye, everybody started the game, maybe minus. We've got our thoughts in Barker could have played. I thought especially Bassey had a good game at centre half. I don't know where he's looked best. I mean, I remember the start. I think it was me and you, Craig. We were talking about Bassey looking a bit shaky. I think it was pre-season actually, but he's came onto a game and played really well in Europe as well. But I thought he had a cracking game at centre half, and yeah, as you say, it's hard when you're going to a League One team to try and keep the standards up, and that's obviously a massive game for them. But everyone came in and done a really good job today.
So Rangers got off to a good start in the 6th minute. Ian, that Connor Goulson famous long ball diagonal over the top for Jermaine Defoe, and it's an excellent finish for Defoe on the volley after the bounce. That's 2 parts to the point I'm asking you here. How fucking good is Goulson, and how good a finish is Defoe?
Goulson's definitely proven me wrong this season. His passing's improved so much. He used to try those passes and they'd be flying over the striker's heads or flying over the wide man's head. And he'd keep trying them, but this season they seem to be coming off a lot more of that. So he had the one for the goal against Livingston for Defoe as well, didn't he? Right on the money. Same again today. And defensively, he's been so much more solid this year. Like, so much so that we've still been unable to rest him. And then Defoe, the guy does nothing but score goals. I mean, he doesn't really have to do much more than score goals in this team just now anyway. So
I think you've got to get a completely different striker when you play the four. You won't get the work rate of Morelos or Roof, but when you give him the service, he'll take his chances. Scott Carney, Rangers made it 2 with Calvin Bassey from a good ball into the left-hand side. Cedric Eaton got the head to it, and Bassey just tapped it in with a rebound. So we are such a good threat for set pieces. But just on Bassey, I know the other Scott, he alluded to it at the start of the show there. Where do you see him fitting in mainly this season? Do you think he will be cover for centre half or left back, or can you see him maybe slotting into one of the roles?
First of all, when you say Scott Carney like that, it makes me think I'm back at school. Scott Carney, I'm like, what? Wasn't it me? And to be honest, lads, I'm here for the lulz tonight. I thought Big Bassey was solid tonight. Don't get me wrong. He's up against Connor Salmon tonight. He's not exactly a prolific striker to really be kind of worrying about. The goal, I mean, I don't know what it is with our defenders right now. They seem to be in the right place at the right time. I think Bassey being there is obviously his kind of training that he's been doing based on his kind of left back and he's been the apprentice to Borna. Where's it going to fit? I'm not sure. I think it was quite interesting. I don't want to jump ahead, but obviously Middleton came on and kind of played kind of left wing back as well, which I found quite interesting. I thought Middleton was done. I didn't think we'd ever really see him again, to be honest. But that was quite interesting. I was like, maybe he's going to be the kind of shadow wing back, but he's got a wee bit more pace than Big Shirley Bassey. I'm not 100% sure he's that much quicker. I would still say he's probably going to be the left back, though. I think tonight, obviously, as we said, with Hollander obviously testing positive for COVID, I think it just kind of put a wee spanner in the works. And Bassey can obviously play centre back as well, but I would still say he's more than likely going to be the kind of Barisic apprentice.
I was quite happy that he did get minutes regardless, because I think we know Patterson is the only other kind of able right back, if you like, but he's probably a lot further behind Bassey in terms of getting realistic game time. So I think players who we are wanting to come in and out of the squad, I was glad they were able to get game time today, like Bassey. Craig, we'll stick with the left backs. Borna Barisic had been quite quiet for the last few weeks. I think he's went about his job fairly. He's not been poor or anything, but he's not really hit the heights that he did at the end of last season. Brilliant free kick and then a brilliant ball in for Tavernier. I'm being a bit harsh here when I'm saying he's been quiet.
He's dropped off a wee bit, but he's dropped from a 9 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10, so it's not really anything to be upset about. Free kick was brilliant. One thing I noticed about the free kick, I don't know if you've seen it, when they were setting up just before it, Tav went over and physically grabbed Itten and pulled him into position in front of the goalkeeper. I don't know if anyone noticed that. But it's just showing a good bit of leadership from Tav. He physically went over and moved a player to stand in front of the goalkeeper to block his line of the shot. So that was a good bit of leadership from him there. And then again for the Tav's goal, it's fullback to fullback. How many times have we seen it? It's good to actually know the stats. We'll need to look that one up to see how many times it's happened, because it's ridiculous. It's something that it's normal for us to see. Maybe I think Liverpool have probably done it a few times with Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, but other than that, it's not something you would normally see in a team. That's not a common feature in football, but it's something that we do a lot of and we do it well. But Barisic he's not been at the heights that he's maybe been at, but he's been absolutely steady the whole time. He's not had a bad game. I think when your levels are that high, if you drop down a wee bit, then it will feel like you're not quite flying, but it's nothing to worry about for me. He's still doing excellent.
Scott, what Craig mentioned there about Tavernier showing leadership, I've got here my notes. I know you've been trying to read them, but my writing is shocking. I've got my notes. I thought he'd been very composed throughout the majority of the games the last few weeks, and I don't know if I'm just in too good a mood and I'm looking into everything, but he looks very composed and that kind of. So that steeliness that Gerrard has after these interviews as well. He looks as if he has grown up a bit this season, hasn't he?
Aye, he's. I was, talking to somebody at work, and we were talking about him, and it's going to be a big hole to miss. Like, one, when he's injured or suspended or something, which touch wood it doesn't happen. But even like if we go later on when we need to replace him, it's going to be very difficult to replace him. We maybe not appreciate him until he actually goes, but just his full mannerism and as Craig mentioned, he doesn't come across as a shouter or anything, but I think he does have that in him. If he's grabbing it, I wouldn't like to grab it. And was he 6'3" or something? I'd be running like fuck. So, so the fact that he's going over there, let's face it, we're 9 out of 10. We're going to win this game today. You know what I mean? We're already 2-0 up by that point, and he's still got that urgency and demanding these standards. I love that from him, and he's speaking very well. I think they mentioned it in Premier Sports as well today. Like, Gerrard's not getting carried away, neither's Tavernier. So it's obviously this leadership group's got this constant communication, a clear plan in their heads.
I like that for both of them. Both of them were asked about the League Cup draw, which, don't worry, we are going to spend quite a bit on the League Cup draw and who was in and who wasn't. But they both answered it with the same reply, one game at a time. And that's exactly what you're after. You don't want them getting ahead of themselves. That's your job as fickle fans to start booking lodges and that for I do. But as long as the players are taking it one game at a time. Ian, we're going to come on to the subs. The first sub that was made was in 26 minutes. Brandon Barker's got a bit of a knock and he's went off for Glenn Kamara. I know we've all got mixed opinions on Brandon Barker, but I think it is someone who Gerrard likes to have in and out of the team. So, as much as I'm not his biggest fan, I was actually disappointed to see him go off because I think this would have been a great game for him to get up to match sharpness and get minutes in his legs.
Yeah, I think he was always going to play today, wasn't he? We said the other night, pretty much anybody who didn't play Thursday would have played today. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing to see him go off because I actually backed him to score today, thinking that this is the kind of game he should be. If he can't do it in this game, then he shouldn't be there. And I was a wee bit surprised that he brought on Kamara for him, to be honest. I'd have brought on Middleton. Because if you're going to play... So Barker's like a proper winger. He's not like Kent. He's not like Hadji. He's a proper winger. So I thought, bring on Middleton. And for me, Middleton's got more credit in the bank than Barker. Middleton's scored a couple of goals in Europe. Had a good assist against Villarreal. And for me, Barker's done nothing, really. He deserved this continued Gerrard giving him chances.
Scott, just on Middleton then, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm being very harsh, but I'm kind of passive towards him. He had a good first break into the team 2 years ago, but he's not really done anything since. He's had unsuccessful loan spells. But I don't think Gerrard would have brought him in just for the sake of it. There's plenty of young players. We'll come on to Dixon and King, but there's plenty of players like that who he could have gave game time to. Do you think he's got a future at the club?
It's hard to say, really. I think I agree with you when he first broke into the team. Middleton, I was excited about Middleton at first. I was like, boy, looks rapid as well. He looks very direct. Looks like kind of take his man on. Also, when he first broke into the team, though, we were at that point where we just wanted the team to always run past the players, and it wasn't really about how we played. It was just about winning. I was surprised, I suppose, to see him playing. I can completely understand what Ian's saying. I was a wee bit shocked that Kamara come on. And at first I was a wee bit confused about what kind of formation we were going to go into, but forgot that Hadji was there as well, so it could easily be kind of shifted around. Maybe he does have a future. I'd say the whole the kind of left wing back thing that he was playing, as I say, maybe that's something that they're looking into. I would be surprised if they didn't try and get him out on loan this season. They probably have tried to kind of get him out on loan again, because he isn't going to be a regular. And being brutally honest, right now, who are you going to drop to play Middleton? There's nobody really that you would drop to play Middleton. But I'm also not a fan of Brandon Barker at all, like not even slightly. I don't know why. It's not clicking with me. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't know why he plays for Rangers. But I mean, I've said to you, I think I've said before to you as well, Con, on our pod, if he scores a goal to Windsor's 55, I'll quite happily eat my shoes. But I just I can't take to him. It looked quite not serious with Barker, but the way he went down and the way he was holding on his ankle, it looks something. It's something that's a kind of reoccurring thing, because he knew exactly what it was. So it could be quite a spell out for him. It kind of depends what it is. But Middleton, well, time will tell, mate. I'll be surprised if we see him again this season, to be honest.
I think in terms of Middleton as well, he broke in at a time where we were struggling to fill a bench, and he was like the best option we had through the youngsters. And I just felt as though when he played, he did make a great impact, but then when it came to the second half of Gerrard's first season, I felt as though just defenders knew how to play against him and knew he was quick. He would always go on the outside if he was playing the left, and he was very, very predictable. So I think he just needs to stick in. I mean, he is only 20, and we've had this discussion a lot of time. Players aren't breaking in till they're, older, 22, 23. So maybe there is a long-term plan, but I think he needs to. Again, I don't think he didn't do anything wrong today, but he didn't do anything particularly to change the game or anything. And if he wants to get in the first team and get more appearances, he's going to really improve.
Craig, we also had 18-year-old Kieran Dixon and 16-year-old Leon King make their debuts, their competitive debuts for Rangers. How do you think they got on?
Both done absolutely fine, I think. It's obviously difficult when a game's already won. It's an easier game for them to properly get an opinion on them. I've seen them both play a couple of times for the youth teams as well. Dixon looks a good player. I know he's a couple of years older than King, but I think King's got a huge amount of potential. He came on at right back, but I know he's really a centre back as well. But at that age, it's easier to bring him on and put him into full back rather than having him in the middle. So I completely understand that one. I'm glad that he signed a contract with us, because there was a lot of talk of big clubs down south and abroad interested in him. So it's good to see him commit to us. Hopefully there's another couple of contracts to come for him, because I reckon he is one with a good future. And as well, see, when he's only 16, like physically he didn't look like a wee boy. I'm sure we'll get on to slagging Celtic, but watching that game, Stephen Kelly done really well for them, and I've noticed he's sort of filled out a wee bit. When we've seen a bit of him pre-season last year, he looked like a wee boy. So physically he's grown a bit, whereas King at 16 already seems to have a bit of a presence about him, which if he's going to be a centre-back, you're going to need that. Obviously he'll still be growing, he's still young, so at this age it's good to see it already. And that'll just do his confidence a world of good. Even just being in the dressing room and sitting on the bench and getting close to the first team players and the manager, it's all going to stand them in good stead. So glad to see they both got on and both done well.
I think that Leon King, there has been the most hype about him in the last couple of months in terms of players coming through the youth academy, but Kieran Dixon really impressed me. I thought he just wanted the ball at all times playing. We know how important the midfield three are for us in any game, and he was always shown for it. And he was very forward thinking as well. He didn't just get on the ball and play the safe pass. He was going to get the ball up the park. I thought fair play to them. They both done very well. So Rangers are through. We've been drawn to St Mirren away in the quarter-final. So let's just hold the football chat and talk about, the chat about the Rangers game, talk about who wasn't in the draw. Usually we wouldn't spend too much time talking about them, but I think it is relevant because we are chasing this trophy. It's now a bit easier, and it's funny as fuck, lads. That's probably the biggest reason. Ian,
it's spectacular, mate. Spectacular.
So Scott, you've been sitting there like a jack in the box, ready to pounce in this.
Oh, mate.
Talk us through the scene.
So I hadn't bought my Premier Sports package for one game that I've done tonight, and my pal sent a message. I was watching the start of the Formula One, and my pal sent a message like, "Oh, Man United could get pumped here," and I was like, checked the score, and I was like, "Oh, they're getting beaten 2-0." And then my other pal was in a group chat with just put up hundreds of laughing faces, and I was like, "Well, that's not that funny." I'm like, I don't really understand what he's talking about. And literally, just as I'd done that, I just flicked over onto my Sky Bet, and I was just like, fuck me, Tim's are getting beat. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, it's 1-0. You know the usual whole thing you do, it's 1-0. It's nothing. It's just a wee blip. See, when it went to 2-0, oh, how I laughed. It's over for them. I'm not going to get pure ahead of myself and say we're going to go ahead and win everything, because we probably won't, knowing Rangers, but their dominance is over. It's done. They've lost at home at Ross County. Ross County at home. I mean, it's an embarrassment to them. Lennon must stay, but I mean, surely they have to show him the support for all the service he's gave the club. He has to stay. It's so good, though, isn't it? It's just so good to watch them melting down. It's absolutely brilliant.
Ian, I think through the delight there, Scott makes a good point, and I'm with him. I'm fighting every urge to go out and get 55 tattooed in my arm right now, but he makes a point there that this doesn't guarantee that we'll go on and win something, but this has, for the first time in a long time, this will be a trophy that Celtic can't win. That must be a blow psychologically to them.
Yeah, it will be. I don't know if I've ever felt so conflicted by a Celtic result. You know, on one hand, I want them to lose. On the other hand, I don't want Lennon to be sacked. So, you know, it's on the run of a bad result, on the back of a bad run for them. You know, if he survives this, then I don't know. It's like we've said that Bar and Gerrard to keep getting a game. Lennon must have something on law to keep a job. You just can't imagine he survives this, can you? But yeah, now looking ahead, as we fans tend to do, you'd have to imagine that the only team that are a threat to us at all are Hibs, and other than Hibs, and even then, we'll beat them at Hampden. We should win this cup, no bother now.
That's it. The fine, Scott. I think we all fancy ourselves against Celtic in a one-off game. So I think we'd be looking at realistically winning this cup, or with a good chance in it. Now, there's no team in this tournament, if Rangers are at their best, they won't beat. I think, and again, disclaimer, I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, but Rangers have always historically had success in the League Cup, and it's when we win the League Cup, we tend to go on and win the league with it as well, because it boosts the team early on. I'm behind a point here. Do you think that's a long way to the title?
I think so. Yeah, I think you said the finals in March, so hopefully it's something to look forward to and gain momentum. And it's a bit of like getting the monkey off the back. Obviously, we've not had silverware for a long time, so hopefully that builds confidence, and for Gerrard as well, because obviously that'll be his first managerial silverware as well. So it'll just be positive for the full team. And you look at players that have worked so hard in the past few seasons, and the coaching staff, it'll be a massive confidence boost.
Craig, I know you won't be on the pod, you need to leave early, so you won't be able to give us your Twitter part of the week, but can you sum up the reaction of the Celtic fans for what you've seen so far?
Do you want me to just burst into tears, or do you want me to start writing?
they're imagine with police after one defeat from the cup. Imagine when we win the league, Parky will be like fucking no, it'll be mental.
The thing
They'll
is,
set it on fire.
it's the psychological side of it, isn't it? That's why big picture the League Cup doesn't really matter overall, does it? For us, it's massive this season. It's just winning that first trophy. We should have done it last year. Got to the final, much better team, but we know how that turned out. And then, as I know, we're all getting excited here and expecting we should win it, but how many upsets have we seen in cup games over the years? So we can't get ahead of ourselves. But you're right, probably Hibs are the only ones that could maybe stop us. So it should be a trophy coming home, and we just have to hope that we actually get over the line. St Mirren away, we should win that. It's been tricky there over the last couple of years. It's been close games, so you never know. But feeling good, feeling confident, and get it up them.
So we've got to lower the mood. It wasn't all sunshine and roses this week. Thursday night we had an upset in the Europa League. Rangers gave up a 2-0 lead against Portuguese minnows Benfica. The game finished 2-2 overall. So Scott Carney, Benfica would have. This is a big game for them playing a team like Rangers. Good point for them. What do you think of the result on Thursday?
So I don't know if any of you boys are getting new FIFA, right? But it was like literally playing a game of FIFA. So you go 2-0 up and you're like, magic, you're beating a team you shouldn't be beating, and then the computer AI decides, no, you can't be winning 2-0, and you just lets the computer, no matter what you do, they're going to score 2 goals. It's also the strangest game plan I've ever seen from Benfica in my life, because they must have went, right, it's all right, it's went 2-0, but they're going to be knackered in a minute, and when they're knackered, we're going to score, and it just seemed to happen. I was raging about it again. I was like, we've Hibsed it, do you know what I mean? I was like, I can't believe we've done that again. But again, I put it in a group chat to you. See, as soon as I seen Gerrard's interview after it, I was pure brought right back down to earth with it. I was like, this is a Champions League team. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what, they're the 3rd or 4th high spenders in European football this season. I mean, that's crazy stats. And as you say, if we'd have been offered two points over the 2 games with Benfica home and away, you would have bit your hand off. It's just the way it happened twice, and it was like, as you say, they say lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. What fucking did against Benfica, didn't it? So it was all knocky to a certain extent. I mean, Roof's goal, the second goal, that deserved to win any game. What a goal! The way the move and everything about it, and the way he finished it was brilliant. But it's a wee bit. But I mean, I'm fully confident the Rangers will win the next 2 games in the Europa League, and will probably finish that group top. So onwards and upwards, really. It's one of the ones at the time. It was kind of hard one to take, but you reflect on it now, and plus once Stevie G says it's all right, I'm okay. Okay, Stephen, I agree with you.
Ian, for the first 70 minutes, the Rangers played some amazing football, and even the first goal, I know Rufus scored another belter, but even for the first goal, Arfield's goal, we were so aggressive early on. I think over, and I know in Benfica in Portugal we were playing against 10 men, but I think you've seen the best of Rangers over these 2 games, and also what happens when Rangers switch off. But are you worried the fact that we've gave up a 2-goal lead twice, or are you taking comfort in the level of the opposition?
A wee bit worried, but also halfway, kind of in between, I suppose. Like, if it had been, if it had been like Sparta Prague or something that was coming and turning us over like that, it might have been embarrassing, but it's Benfica, like as you've just mentioned, like 4th or 5th highest spenders in Europe, like some like team full internationals, and if you're for internationals and you switch off for that 5 minutes, they're going to punish you, and that's exactly what's happened. We've switched off, and the first game, it's Arfield just not picking the right pass, just switching off, and instead of playing it into the corner or taking it back to the goalkeeper or something, he switches off and plays a forward pass. We lose the ball, they got the park and score, and then it's Tav has a poor header, and Goldson for me switched off and lets his man get a shot away. And it's just a team full of internationals is going to punish you when you switch off, and we just don't have that at home in Scotland, where we can have those wee lapses in concentration and we get away with it.
I'll be honest, I think I'm the same as most people, that before a ball was kicked, what Gerard said, you would attain 2 points against Benfica, but I do really hope the players take a lesson, and I don't want to bring the mood down too much, but I hope they take the lesson that if you switch off at any point, you can throw away a 2-goal lead, and I hope they take it as it doesn't have to be Benfica. If you switch off against a Ross County or St Mirren, there's every chance you. So I hope I hope if anything, it'll be a positive and it'll maybe bring them back to earth. Craig, there's been a lot of folk talk about the game management, and in particular Gerard not making a sub. And I think we have criticised him on here beforehand for not making a sub. I think we were crying out for a Ryan Jack or somebody to come on in the middle of the park. We only had Jamie Burjones, so I kind of think I understand why he didn't make a sub. What do you think?
I get what you mean there, because I was thinking myself when we're 2-0 up, what changes should we be making? Again, with hindsight, I think we said this after the away leg against Benfica about what changes we should have made, but at the time I could understand why he wasn't making changes. The way the game was going, plus we knew we had an easier game this weekend. We didn't have to keep people fresh for the weekend because we'd be making changes anyway. So it is disappointing to lose a 2-goal lead twice against the same team. It's something that shouldn't be happening, but at the same time, it is Benfica. And also, I might be wrong here, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but I think we've conceded 9 goals this season, and 5 of them have been against Benfica, and it's almost December. So, what the fuck do we have to complain about?
I've seen a stat. In 23 games, Rangers have lost 9 goals. In 9 games, Celtic have lost 23 goals.
Tells you everything.
Scott leaves us with 8 points, joint top with Benfica. We just need one more win to get through, and we're up against Standard Liège at Ibrox on Thursday night. And again, don't want to count our chickens. If Rangers turn up and play the way they can play, I'd be expecting 3 points here. How can you see Rangers setting up? Is it the same as usual and take the game to them?
Yeah, I think we should take confidence. It was a great result that we got, and obviously it's we're away this time. Sorry, yeah. So
no, we're at home.
We're at home.
Just for the listeners, the Arsenal Wolves game is on in the background, and Hodge absolutely zoned out as he was giving his answer.
Professional, mate. That's what that is. Professional.
You get this in Heartland.
No, I think yeah, it's just a case of goal in the Wolves game. Just get the job done. 3 points, and then I think Gerard said it as well. It'd be good to get the job done. I think in the last few seasons, we've just waited, and it's went down to the last game. So if we can get the victory that we really need, our strongest 11, then maybe in the Lech Poznan game at the end, we can bring Zungo into a bit more of a competitive game and ease a man and. Bassey perhaps, and you maybe look at Hollander might be back then. You've got maybe Goldson a bit of time out as well, John McLaughlin, so it will be good. Full strength squad, get the 3 points, get the job done, because I really don't know what's better, finishing first or second, because you look at our draw last year and, you know, some of the teams that we could have got, and being first is just crazy. So, to be honest, I don't think it matters too much if you're first or second in the group. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's just your luck of the draw.
As I think, good point, mate. You can head back to the
Cheers.
No, I think for me the main thing is just qualifying, get that done and dusted first and foremost, and then we'll take the group, the knockout stage as it comes. Ian, we won't spend too much time on it because we've got Thursday to compete with first, but we've got Ross County on Sunday. Thankfully, they're without their midfield wizard Stephen Kelly, but they'll be full of confidence after today's result.
Will they? I mean, that's not a very good Celtic team, to be honest. No, they will. They'll absolutely be full of confidence, but as you say, they'll be missing their midfield wizard. They'll be coming up against an actual defence, and we are playing just 100 levels above Celtic right now. So it's a totally different scenario for them. It's obviously they going to Celtic Park, they're turning up, and it's a free hit for them. Like, they're not expected to win that game at all today. I suppose it's the same when they come to Ibrox, but I think this season we've just been ruthless against these lesser. We were today. All those changes and we still win 4-0. I didn't actually expect it to be that comfortable today, just because we made so many changes. And then we've steamrolled Motherwell, Hamilton, Aberdeen. You know, we've just been beating everybody, like, convincingly this season, and I think that'll be the same again come Ross County. We point on the Europa League. I think we'll actually need a point to get through. Obviously, Lech Poznan will be playing Benfica, and if Lech Poznan don't beat Benfica, then we only need a point.
That's comforting to know then. So, for Thursday, even if it is just a point we end up getting and we go through, I think it's just the most important thing is to get through and then worry about the last game as it comes. So, before we wrap up, the best part of the week, the officially titled Twitter part of the week, but more commonly known as "What's the best thing you've seen in Kerrydale Meltdown?" Scott Carney, kick us off. What's the funnest thing you've seen in the world of social media?
So I've seen quite a few. Today's been a particular highlight. However, I'll stay off the Kerrydale Meltdown one now, and I'll go for one of the best ones I've seen was the Gallant few put up their best 11 on Twitter and picked Patterson. So that was particularly good. I was like, that's quite funny, making the jokes there. That's quite good. I also seen when Gary Holt was Livingston manager.
Aye.
He resigned and left, and somebody put up. He was standing in front of the Tony Macaroni Stadium, and somebody put up "Pasta La Vista, baby." I thought that was quite good as well. But I will obviously go on to Kerrydale Meltdown. Now, the funniest one I've seen is the video of the kids' TV show, and the Sash Bash. Have you seen this?
Aye.
It's absolutely tremendous. For anybody that's not seen it, see if you just type in Sash Bash into Twitter, it comes up. It's one of the first ones that comes up, and it's a kids' TV show. And obviously there's a Tim Lee's Wayne, and the Wayne's running in and going, they're having a Sash Bash, and the other Wayne's running about the house just saying that they're going to a Sash Bash. Aye, that was particularly good as well. But just going to Kerrydale Meltdown now, honestly, you could do a full show on it right now, I'm telling you.
Aye. Well, aye. Cut of good choices, and cheers for outing me in my own podcast, mate. Thank you. I've never claimed to be in the know, and anybody that's seen that tweet, I don't fucking know that I'm definitely not. Ian, what's the funniest thing you've seen this week?
So mine's comes from an idiot Celtic fan, and it was Celtic had posted a picture of Maradona with a Celtic top, and they had posted a rest in peace message to him, and some Celtic fans came in and said, "Great appointment." No, yeah. Oh, fuck's sake.
Ian, did you see the comment underneath it though? And just, oh, fuck's sake, just seen his deed, R.I.P. or something instead of.
Oh, come on. So that for me was the best thing I've seen.
Scott, what's the funniest thing you've seen this week?
So obviously the Celtic meltdown's been good, but I've decided to keep it in Rangers fans here. So there was obviously the tweet about Hollander being testing positive for COVID, and all good, get well messages soon. And somebody posted, "Man, that man's that good at reading the game. He avoided going to training to pass it on."
That's I've done the same. I think it's. I don't want to. Oh, Scott, you got another one?
I've got literally just seen one there, mate. That's quite good. So sorry, I know it's Kerrydale Melton again. Keep shouting "fuck off, Lennon," and the Doug Lennon thinks I'm shouting at it. Keeps running and keeps running away. Fucking sin, but it's Celtic's fault. And another one as well, my pals just put up. Wonder if Peter Lawwell will be waiting on Neil in the showers to sack him.
So, anybody that's no already seen Kerrydale Meltdown on Twitter, like it's today is a particular highlight, but it is tremendous. I'm going to pick something out with Kerrydale Meltdown. Did you see the video of John Gregg talking to Morelos? I think when they were filming the Christmas advert, and John Gregg's talking about Alan McCoist, and Morelos doesn't have a clue what's going on. Somebody's put up a video replying to that tweet. It's Oasis doing a live gig in Spain, and they're singing Wonderwall, and Liam Gallagher saying, "There are many things I'd like to say to you, but I don't speak fucking Spanish." A thank you to Craig McAdam, who joined us early on in the show and fucked off early to go and get his Sunday dinner. Scott Carney, thanks for joining us, mate.
Truly my pleasure today, gentlemen. My pleasure.
Ian, always a pleasure, never a chore.
Absolutely. All made better by Celtic losing and us winning.
And Scott, thanks very much for taking the time out from the football to join us today.
No problem. Cheers, lads.
Thanks everybody for listening. A lot of midweek content coming up in the next few weeks. You would have already seen the Tenny Bears and the Generation Bears series have now been live. If you want to take part and get involved, please get in touch via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or on follow. Give us a shout. We'd love to get you on. This week we actually have an interview with one of the regional youth coaches for New York City FC. He's a good blue nose, playing his trade in America. We're going to interview with him, Callum Sinclair, on kind of his career and his take on the current youth setup at Rangers. My name's Colin McDuff, and thank you all for listening.